2 Brawl newses in a span of 3 days? This is a good week. So starting things off here today with more in-game news, we're taking a look at a tweet coming out yesterday from Brawl Stars. He's beginning to believe, and that only means Fang can now block damage with his new star power. So Fang's second star power is finally in the game, but first it brings up a really important point to all of you guys if you haven't been keeping up with how much content came out here in Season 10. Taking a look at a tweet from Brawl Predictions, the Season 11 Brawl Talk is basically guaranteed to come on February 26th. Because all we have left for content in this update are the current Brawlentine event, Fang's second star power hopefully is coming out soon, and some pins that were mentioned in the patch notes. So the Brawlentine event has been concluded at the point that I'm recording this video, as well as Brawl Stars Predictions pointed out here, Fang's second star power came out yesterday. So basically all the content in Season 10 has been and is finally done here in Brawl Stars, besides a few pins that haven't been introduced yet. But coming out with this star power, as you guys just saw a moment ago, we had some artwork to release it, and not gonna lie, it's really freaking cool. A lot of people were speculating on these different weapons being tossed at Fang as he's blocking them, because his second star power is more of a defensive one, and people were really going deep into this, like what are projectiles from each brawler, and is there anything different out of the mix that might introduce a new brawler around the corner. Normally when it comes to these star power photos, they're not sneak peeking much, it's just to release the new star power, right? So this is a projectile from Penny, Spike, this one is Lou, this one is Barley, this one is Dynamite, and I really don't know what this one is. Is that a suitcase? I think that's Mr. P's suitcase. But then we got Colt doing something back there, kind of looking suspicious, but I think the only reason he's making an appearance in this video is to showcase that, you know, Fang is protecting Colt that was not aware all these things were coming. That's why he's looking shocked or surprised. So nothing coming from this, if you ask me. I also even saw people saying that this was like a spaceship in the background. As much as I would love to believe something like that to kind of go off of the running theories that we have and that we're going to be discussing here in today's video of a space brawler coming in this next update, I don't think that is. But next up, getting into some actually really interesting news here in today's video, a tweet from Cat Burglar Jessie herself saying, wait, why does Grom's Memories have the same vending machine as the one in the animation? If you guys didn't know, in the most recent Brawl Talk that aired over 2 months ago, there was an animation where Grom was having a little bit of a meltdown, reliving a few moments in his past with flashbacks. And these flashbacks are as followed. Taking a look at a post from Coach Corey himself over here on Reddit. The very first one is a broken swing set with explosions in the background. The next one is a teddy bear ripped in half with explosions in the background, and that will continue to be like that. Then we have a photo of Grom desecrated by someone looking like a devil. Not cool, man. We have a desk with gum underneath it. We have a vending machine with a hole in it, as well as a huge explosion. So the theories running through these flashbacks is that Grom was a school teacher in his past life before he took to Brawl Stars, and he was mistreated there, treated very, very poorly. The students were a rambunctious group, and it drove him absolutely insane, which is why he doesn't like kids to this day. But until now, we really didn't think anything would come of these photos linking to anything particular in Brawl Stars or Brawl Stars lore, but the very first appearance of something from these flashbacks came from the Valentine's Day animation, and that is this vending machine. It's literally identical here with the little arrows on the push thing in order to get what you purchased there, same exact colors, but of course in this photo there's no hole in it, but in the animation Frank ends up punching a hole in the vending machine to steal the snacks that he didn't receive from spending the money. Alluding to, you know, the vending machine wouldn't give her heart candies to Frank because they were meant for Rico, but Frank got mad and punched a hole in the vending machine. But yeah guys, it's really, really interesting. What this means at this point, I don't quite know. There's no real huge theories pertaining to this as of right now, but I would say the main thing that we can take away from all this is possibly in the near future we could be seeing some of these flashbacks taking to real life, much like we did that vending machine flashback. So we'll have to wait and see. Some of these look really, really interesting for like lore things, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and be patient on this front. But before we get away from somewhat talking about the Valentine's Day animation, I wanted to bring this up. A ton of people were discussing this frame of that animation, and that is, of course, spaghetti once again coming into the picture. I didn't really mention it in the most recent episode of Brawl News, but it is a really interesting point. Spaghetti synonymous with brainwashing at Star Park, whether that's actually spaghetti or like a code word for what they use to brainwash residents and workers at Star Park. So pretty ironic that it's popping up in this animation. But getting straight away into our next bit of news here. In the most recent episode of Brawl News, we brought up from this photo over on the Brawl Stars social medias that there's a few really interesting details. Number one, a lot of people theorizing that this is a spacecraft in the sky or a meteor, as well as this dome building in the background. Some of the most popular theories coming from this photo is the fact that there might be some space elements involved, seeing that this could be a spacecraft, as well as this might be some sort of space station or someone returning from their spacecraft to this station, thus alluding to potentially a new space brawler coming around the corner. As you guys know, we are still missing one brawler in that space family. But you might remember in the last episode of Brawl News, someone mentioned to me over on Twitter that these posters on this particular frame were really interesting in their eyes, and I thought so as well. They mentioned that this countdown poster was something that kind of piqued their interest, and I thought it was pretty dang interesting as well, seeing that it's 8-bit. But I did not think to actually use color correction on this bad boy so we could see the posters a bit better. So your boy Ray used Photoshop in order to put a little bit of brightness on this bad boy, and we can see them much more clearly. The 8-bit poster is countdown, and then of course it's really blurry, this text down here. I think the first two is 8-bit, and then another dash, and maybe Park or Fear, something like that. But I think it's too blurry to go any deeper into that. I think it's blurry for a reason. But this one, which we couldn't make out before, is Spike Invaders, which I think is an homage and now brawlified in this photo to Space Invaders. I think you could argue that this poster took inspiration from Space Invader posters out there, such as this one here with the monster or the subject here all silhouetted in black, but the eyes are glowing much like Spike in this photo. And I'd also like to point out that this one popped up as well, so two different posters of Spike Invaders, which is also similar to different artworks of that same poster of Space Invaders that we saw before, such as this one, for example, with the yellow text. Now, before we lose ourselves in this theory, it's really important to take note that we might just be diving a little bit too far into this. For example, there are a ton of other posters in the background that are brawlified and just trying to fit the theme of the current environment that we have in Brawl Stars, being video games and arcades and stuff like that. So take that at face value. I just wanted to play on the whole space theories, seeing that it's something that's running right now and quite popular. And then the final thing I promise about this animation that I want to point out at the very beginning that I don't think a lot of people mention is the street corner that the vending machine is on is Star and Park. I thought a really interesting detail, so take that however you like. Moving along, once again revisiting this calendar. If you guys didn't know, we recently made it to the very first 2 red mark dates here, the 16th and now today, the 17th, and yesterday something came out, which was Fang's second star power, and nothing has yet to be released on the 17th, which is today, but I would assume if something were to come out today, it would confirm that something else important would come out on the last red dash mark, which is the 21st. If not, the second star power coming out on the 16th might just be somewhat of a coincidence, and these dash marks are more so for like the lore of Fang, right? He's training on those days or something like that, not necessarily important keynotes for content coming out. And then the final thing I have for you guys here in today's video is just something I found pretty dang interesting here happening in the community, and that is the Brawl Stars esports Twitter page was taken over by Boxer, one of the main characters preparing for the Brawl Stars esports that we see in animations and whatnot. So she's been making like dedicated tweets to promote the product that she has, Grow Light, which, if you guys don't remember, was a really interesting advertisement that came out, I think, last year's Brawl Stars World Finals. No, 2019, it shows right there, but I found it really interesting. I think around this point we thought, or there were theories, that these commercials had something to do with Star Park because the WKBRL live stream was at like full force back then. And then the official announcement was here. Someone is taking over the Brawl Stars esports account. Boxer is stepping in for a bit there in her greenhouse room. So yeah, I don't know if this is super important or anything like that, that, but you guys just might want to keep one eye open on this over here. Who the heck knows? But yeah, everyone, that's just about it for this episode of Brawl News. Very deep in the speculation portion of this video in theory crafting. Basically just reporting what people are talking about inside of the community. So hope you guys found it interesting or entertaining nonetheless. If you did, make sure to slap a like on it. Really appreciate that. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Adios. Take care.